It is my pleasure to welcome you all here today. We're truly grateful for your presence and excited to have this opportunity to come together at this handing over ceremony for the Pothole patcher. Whether you come from near or far, thank you for being here. We look forward to sharing a meaningful and memorable experience with you all. I thank you.
Good morning. I've spent the last few days here training your staff on the operations of our Bergkamp FP5 pothole patcher truck. We're so proud to have turned this over to your agency. This is a all-in-one patcher. It has a jackhammer on it. It has a plate compactor on the back of it, and it holds approximately 5 tons of asphalt, so you can get a lot of pothole patches done throughout the day. We went out yesterday and did some demonstrations in the field. The workers were very attentive. They learned quite a bit from our training seminar that we had, and appreciate your attention to that. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Staff of the Department of Infrastructure, members of the press, visiting officials, Mr. Bishop, and his representative from Barbados, members of the general public. Today is to be a very short ceremony, and I think those who have spoken before me have already set the trend. But while it may be a short ceremony, it is a very significant and important ceremony for us here at the Department of Infrastructure. And I say this because over the years, as I often say to my staff, the Department of Infrastructure is probably the single most department that's always under scrutiny on a day-to-day basis. Whether it's motorists, pedestrians, cyclists, you name it, the moment they set their feet or their wheels on the pavement, it means that the road infrastructure is under scrutiny. So very often we are bashed, we are criticized, we are abused, we have lost lives on the roads as a consequence of attempting to maintain our road structure. And yet still, when this department does well in maintaining or presenting and introducing new infrastructure, little is said to commend the work that is being done by you, the workers of this department. It is only unfortunate. But we are committed, we are determined, and will continue to provide that level of work, that level of the contribution to our nation building. And I do hope that today's presentation of this pothole patcher will further energize, enthuse, and create the necessary determination and commitment on the part of the staff to continue the work that we have been doing over the years. This could not have been possible without the support of the Prime Minister, a man who himself has served here in this department with distinction, and one who continues to serve this country with tremendous pride and dignity and distinction in providing to the people of the country the needs on a daily basis. It was the Prime Minister in one of our discussions about how do we maintain or rather keep on top of the road situation in terms of its maintenance. The Prime Minister suggested to me, why don't we acquire a pothole patcher? And gave me the instruction to immediately find a supplier, find someone who can get us a piece of equipment, a pothole patcher, that will give us the capacity of maintaining our roads on a daily basis and to be able to suppress the complaints that are coming from the general public. I immediately set wheels into motion, and we were able to make contact out of Barbados, the representative for Bergkamp, Inc., and within a few weeks they were able to present to us, submit to us, a proposal for the purchase of this beautiful piece of equipment. One that is an all-in-one facility for maintaining potholes or maintaining the roads itself. It means, therefore, that you need not bring an entire crew out there with a truck holding asphalt at different temperatures, and applying, and gangs applying it at different times and different temperatures. In some instances, not being able to maintain the quality that is necessary. This equipment has the capacity with its hopper to be able to accommodate asphalt from the supplier. So one of the things we need to make sure is that the supplier who supplies us with asphalt, regardless of the supplier, there are about 3 of them, we've got to ensure that the quality of the asphalt that is put into this truck is top quality asphalt, and it must be tested on a daily basis, batch by batch, to make sure we get quality asphalt from any supplier in the country. That's priority number 1, the quality of the asphalt. Because the quality of the asphalt that is placed in there and then onto the road will determine the longevity or the life of that road pavement. The asphalt placed in the hopper is then now heated by a 10,000 watt generator, which maintains a temperature that is necessary for the application in the pothole. It has its own jackhammer, its own whacker plate, and other tools and equipment that will allow staff to be able to competently repair potholes on the road. Now, because of the technology that is being introduced in this new equipment, we've had 1 or 2 before, but this one is even further advanced. It needed training, and I therefore want to thank Mr. Bishop and his team for coming down to provide the training to our engineers and our attendants, pothole patchers themselves, if you want to call them that, but those guys who are involved in road maintenance, to be able to train them adequately so they understand the equipment that they'll be using, they understand the technology that is going to be applied, and they understand the importance for them to adhere to the procedures and the protocols necessary for indeed maintaining our road. So what are we expecting? We're expecting that on a daily basis, not occasionally, but on a daily basis, that pothole patcher will be on our roads, particularly the primary road network, the Julian R. Hunt Highway, the West Coast and the East Coast, the cross-country road, the Battle Hill, and where necessary, when there is insufficient work to be done along those routes, to move into major communities and to assist in the pothole repairs and the maintenance of our roads. This beast, as I call it, will be out there chasing potholes. It will be able to ensure, as I've often said, we do not allow a 25 cents pothole exacerbate in price to a $1,000 pothole. So for you, the workers on this truck, you are going to be the vigilantes. You are the ones who will be able to see those potholes, find them, look for them, and ensure that the right application is given. I believe, Mr. Prime Minister, your gift today to us is certainly going to give the department an opportunity for the general public to see the work that we are doing. Oftentimes, I think the general public really underestimate and disregard the work that those in the potholing unit do on our country roads. We have lost in the last 4 years at least 2 individuals, hard-working men who every day go out there onto our roads, and there's absolute disrespect and disregard for the work that they're doing, and we have lost the lives of 2. A lot of road safety will have to be brought into operation, and of course the conditions of work also. We are now looking at that to see how we can improve the quality of the environment within which they're working. So I want to thank you, Prime Minister, for having, as usual, in your normal manner, always extending a helping hand, always willing to assist, always willing to make the necessary financial adjustments to give support to your various ministries, and this ministry is no exception. I want to thank you immensely. And therefore, as I close, I want to say to the general public, we are absolutely committed to maintaining our roads. We have demonstrated our commitment and our passion for maintaining our roads. In the last 4 years, You have seen throughout the country, the north, the south, the east, and the west, the government, through the Ministry of Infrastructure, has undertaken a very aggressive, very boisterous approach to road maintenance. And with the launch of our Infrastructure 2030 strategic plan, that document is not just a document to read and to be shelved, but it's a document that speaks to new methods, new technologies, new protocols, and a greater appreciation for the work that we do here in this department, and I do hope the general public understands. So even when sometimes we seem to be failing, we are actually working to try and get over some of the unfortunate situations which often come our way. So I want to thank the general public for your patience, those of you who do have the patience. For those of you who advocate and sometimes, threaten, I also want to thank you for being our own advocates too, because it helps us understand your own temperament, your thinking, and your philosophy. And to the staff of this department, I want to say my personal thanks to all of you. Those of you who sometimes may believe that your work has gone unnoticed, I want to say to you that we do notice what you're doing, we do appreciate what you're doing, and we do fight for you at all times to get better working conditions and to have the tools that are necessary. And to the leadership of this department, the Permanent Secretary, the Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ms. Matthew, and also Mr. Melchor, we want to thank you for having provided that leadership at that level to the Department of Infrastructure. I want to thank you very much, and I look forward to the impact of this new pothole patcher here in Saint Lucia. Thank you very much.
I want to start where the senior minister ended, and really to express my appreciation for the staff of this ministry, particularly the people, the pothole gang, that's what they call them when I was there. Because I know the abuse that they get. I know the abuse that they get. I know how people abuse them. I know how people say all kinds of things about them, even when they're fixing the road. But I can get an example. There was a pothole by my house, and anytime somebody's vehicle fell, the refrain was Pierre, and I won't tell you what came after. So I understand what they go through, but that's all in a day's work. So I already thanked them, and I also want to thank the staff in the Ministry of Infrastructure, because there are two ministries in this country that get the most flack, no matter how they try. The Ministry of Infrastructure, the Ministry of Health, and the Ministry of Infrastructure. Everybody blames the Ministry of Health, and everybody blames the Ministry of Infrastructure. So if someone decides that they must drive at 70 miles per hour on a road where they ought to drive at 20 or 30 miles per hour, they'll tell you the reason why they had the accident because there was a pothole. And if someone decides that they will get drunk and drive and run off the road, they'll tell you the reason why they run off the road because there were no barriers. So all that's ready is in a day's work, and when all of it comes to the end, the person who gets blamed is the Prime Minister. So we understand that, and we try our best to alleviate it, but that's all in a day's work. This pothole patcher cost the government about $1 million, and that $1 million came from the CIP program. These are funds from the CIP program, $1 million which just came from the CIP program. So sometimes you wonder why would we not want to cause the CIP program to get better, to benefit the people more of Saint Lucia, but that's not the place for that. So we thought it was necessary because of the complaints that we get on the roads. The complaints are taken about potholes, the inconvenience that potholes create. So we thought that we could, after discussion with the senior minister and some of the staff, we thought that a pothole patcher would make things a little easier a little more convenient, but most of all, to make it happen faster. Because we live in a very impatient society. We want it now, now, now. And sometimes when you hear discussions, you would think that Saint Lucia never had potholes before. And potholes only came in this country after July 26, 2021. But all that is also in a day's work. But we listen, this government listens, and step by step, we are trying to alleviate the problems for the people of Saint Lucia, step by step. So we thought that the first thing to do would have been to deal with the inconvenience, the irritants of the potholes, or what a pothole causes. And then we've got this patcher. Hopefully, if all things go well, we see if we can get another one. So we can have one in the north and one in the south. So we can have two of them at some point, so then we can continuously stop the irritation of falling in the pothole. So even though the road may not be as smooth as you want it to be, we can stop the irritation. So this is where we're going. And I'm speaking to the technical director. He told me that the St. Lucian staff that he trained were very receptive, and he thought that they would be able to operate it well. So I want to thank him and thank the staff for doing what they always do to the best of their ability. But he also want to tell them that maintenance of this vehicle is very important. So I hope we have a maintenance regime where the vehicle will be maintained, the upkeep will be structured so that we can keep the vehicle and it can live most of its livable life. So it cannot be destroyed because it runs without oil, or it runs without something that happened to break fluid, etc. So we hope we maintain it, because the fact is, this is going to help everyone. All of us drive our vehicles. All of us have vehicles on the road. So I want to implore the staff to maintain it properly, to keep it going. The important thing is maintenance. And I hope we can have a maintenance regime for this vehicle. So I'm very pleased that we've started. I hope we can see the vehicle getting to work by Monday, if not Sunday. So we can get some work done. We have a lot of work to do, and I can assure you we don't have a lot of time. We have a lot of work to do. I'm pretty pleased. The government is following, and sometimes when you hear what's happening in Saint Lucia, you'll believe that we live in a different world. There are two different Saint Lucias. One Saint Lucia seen in one person's eye, another Saint Lucia seen in another person's eye. Because sometimes I wonder when I hear, what Saint Lucia are we speaking about? What Saint Lucia are we speaking about? Last weekend, in fact yesterday, talking about infrastructure, you could not get ready mix in the country. Yesterday, contractors could not get ready mix in Saint Lucia. That is a fact. I don't know where the ready mix went. Probably the Prime Minister took oil. So if there is no ready mix in the country, something must be happening. Something must be happening. The ready mix must be used, or is being used, to do something. And what do you do with ready mix? Construction. But you hear that things are bad, the country is dead, economic growth is at zero, nothing is happening, the only thing that's happening in Saint Lucia is crime. But so you always wonder, when you're living in two Saint Lucias, which Saint Lucia are you living in? Is it a real Saint Lucia? To say that we have no issues in this country, we would be lying. We always have issues. Every country in the world has issues. Every country. There's no perfect country. Saint Lucia was never perfect, and Saint Lucia will not be perfect for a long time. But when we exaggerate and we want to create an atmosphere of doom and gloom, and you want to create an atmosphere that says the country is sinking and the country is overrun and this, that is not good. It may affect the Prime Minister, it may affect the ministers, but the final analysis, the countries are the ones who are going to be affected, the country. I see some of people in the Pothole unit that were there when I was there. They're still there. I'm not there again. So it shows you the permanence. Civil servants are permanent. Politicians are temporary. And this is something people don't seem to understand. When you get rid of the politicians, the civil service remains and the country remains. So sometimes you don't have to, in your zeal to get rid of the politicians, you mustn't carry the country with you. Because in the final analysis, the country will always remain. The country will be there. Potholes didn't start in July. Crime didn't start in July. We have to work together to deal with these things. What the government is doing is we are trying to create the environment. So we've given you a pothole patcher. So I want to thank you. I want to thank the Minister of Infrastructure. I know every Monday his colleagues give him a lot of pressure. Every Monday, I can tell you, every Monday his colleagues give him a lot of pressure for roads, every Monday, including me. But sometimes they forget I have a constituency. So I want to tell you that I would like to see the pothole patcher in some streets in my constituency. Because I also have a constituency. I have to face the electorate also. Though some people think I'm there for too long, but I'll be there for a long time. Thank you very much. Have a good day.